let's say I want to print hello 5 times. I could do this, but what if it's 500 times or 5 million? Nobody's typing that. This is exactly what loops are for. And in the next few minutes, you will master the most common one in the Java for the for loops. And let's go. A for loop has 3 parts, all in one line. Watch me build it piece by piece. So the beginning is with the keyword for, and then parentheses, and the first part is the one in which you have to define and initialize a variable. Let's call it an integer I equals, and we say it's a 0, semicolon. And in the second part, which is in the middle basically, you are defining the condition. And let's say when it's below 10, as it is proposed, and after every execution, we want to increment it by 1. And then we close the parentheses, curly braces, and between the curly braces we execute basically the for loops logic and say, for example, system out line, and we say we want to print I, or as we started in the beginning, let's say it's hello. And if we execute that, you will see that we printed hello 10 times. We could also say 100 times and so on. So basically we don't or we don't have to copy paste hello world or whatever 100 times or 1 million times and so on. So basically one line which is executed that amount of times. And if you want to play around, you can also say, for example, I equals to 2, and let's say while I is below 10, and if we execute that, you will see that hello is printed 5 times. And the reason is that our incrementing is not only 1 by 1, it's in 2 integer values. And you can make it visible, for example, if you replace that I or the hello by I, you will see that the first output is 0, the second one is 2, 4, 6, and 8 in that 2-way steps. Of course, you can also turn around the table and say you want to decrease the number and so on, as you feel and want. And maybe one hint that most people sometimes do, or at least the beginners do, is something like that. Let me show it to you. And let's say the increment is by 1 and our I is initialized by, I don't know, 15. And that part of the code basically will not be executed ever. To make it visible for you in the console, let's say hello, and below here after the for loop we will say this is not inside the for loop. Execute that, and you see the line this is not inside the for loop is being executed, and nothing inside the for loop here, right? I think you catch the idea why it's not executed at all. The reason is that the condition does not fit, or the condition is not true. This line will not be ever executed, or the execution will never jump inside that for loops logic. So maybe a fast recap. What did you learn? You learned that a for loop starts with a keyword for, and inside the for loop or inside the parentheses, you first define a starting point, like initializing a value, and then you tell it a condition which must be true, and after every execution you want to update that starting point, right? Like incrementing the value so the for loop stops at any time of the execution. And the thing is, in the for loop the condition is always checked in the beginning of each round. So if it does not fit in the beginning at all, it will not be executed. On the update, you can also define the step as you want. And also you can use the variable inside your for loop. And if you try to execute that or use the variable which you define for the for loop, will not be ever usable outside of the for loop. Let me make an example or to make it visible for you. So let's say again I equals 0, I below 5 plus curly braces system out print line I. And then if we try to execute that line, outside of the for loop, you will see that the IDE highlights that variable red. And if you hover on it, it will tell you can't resolve the symbol I because it's not initialized and declared at all, right? But you can also use variables which you initialize beforehand inside a for loop. Let me say string and say the string is greeting form and it's a hello. And if we execute that or copy paste that print line, paste it inside here, you see that we use that variable inside that for loop. So that was the first ever experience for you in Java for loops. I hope you liked the video or it helped you at all. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I will print more videos like that to make programming easier for you. See you then and goodbye.